has also edited some books such as Advanced Material Science and Engineering in Scientific.net Publisher. He has authored and co-authored several scientific publications in journals and conferences. And he is a frequent reviewer of international journals and conferences. We are very honored to have him as the resource person for the evening, sir. We welcome you. Over to Shivakumar, sir. Some books such as Advanced Medical.
Hello. Okay.
Kumar sir, please
Yes,
continue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Sushma, for introducing the resource person. Now I request Dr. Ahmad J. Ubaid, Professor, Department of Computer Science, University of Kufa, Iraq, to take over the session, sir. Over to you, sir. So you can share your PPT.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. At the beginning, let me graduate the organizer for this webinar. It's my pleasure to participate in this webinar, and I hope all of the Indian peoples at the current time will be safe. And thank you for the organizer of this webinar to inviting me to present my seminar about some criteria how to identify the fake journals and publisher, and I hope the seminar will be useful to all of you, and I hope that I deliver this presentation in the successful manner. So I will maximize the. Now I am sharing the presentation. You please confirm me if it is visible.
Yes, sir. PPT is visible, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank
PPT
you.
is visible.
Thank you. So just to fast a confirmation, I will go to the next slides just for if it is visible, you just confirm me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Everything fine, right?
Yes, sir.
Great. So good evening again to all of you. Good evening to the organizing committee. Good evening to all attendants and participants in this webinar. Today, I will talking about the some criteria to identify the fake journals and publishers. We will go for the some topics and define that topics also. And my seminar contain two sections. The first one focus on identifying the fake journals and publishers, and the second section focus on some criteria to and recommendation to the editorial board committee of the members that working under any journal or publisher. So at the beginning, all of you, you are agree with me that the publication of your paper in good journals is take a lot of steps maybe for revision, for reviews, and the normal time it will take for each journal, maybe it's 2 to 3 months, and some journals maybe up to 1 year. So you have to pass this way in the successful manner. You have to adjust the journal guidelines, adjust the revision in the successful manner, and so on. So before we are starting to identify the fake journals and publisher, let us choose some words to define these kinds of these journals and publishers. Suppose maybe fake journals and publishers, okay, we are agree that fake things, it is not real. But there is a different things is, there is some journals, actually these journals, it is good, or maybe it is not good enough, our papers and all these things, but we can't call that journal, we cannot call that journal as a fake journal. In this seminar, we will define two things. The first thing is the fake journals, and the second thing is the let us call that one a blacklist journal. I think all of you, they heard about these words, maybe the blacklist journals. because recently, in the recent 3 or 4 years, most of the countries, especially in Europe countries, some other countries, they are defined their own list and call to that list as a blacklist journals. So we will use a general term for these kinds of journals, the blacklist journals plus the fake journals, and we will call to them a predatory journals or a predatory publishers. So now it is clear to all of you what kinds of terms I will use in this seminar, because we are going to define a new term here, and we call to that term as a predatory. That's meaning the predatory include the fake journals as well as the blacklist journal. Now let us go to define what is the meanings of predatory and why we are use these words to define or to classify the journals or publishers under the predatory umbrella. The first definition, what is the predatory? The predatory, I means the journals or publishers. The predatory journals or publishers, simply they follow four like scenarios. There is no peer review process. There is no editing for the papers that received. There is no review or comments. And the submission most probably comes under the emails or maybe through intermediaries. I means the emails, it is not like the unique metric to identify the fake or predatory journals. No, but simply there is no submission system. You have to send a frequent email till you are received the status of your paper. But simply the four things combined to each other, we can reach to the definition of the predatory. So the predatory means the predatory journals or the predatory publisher. That means the journals or publisher that do not follow any ethical criteria for the reviewing and accepting and publishing the papers. So the first question we are faced here, is this means the predatory only for the Scopus journal or some other journals maybe? We will discover that in our seminar within the next few slides. So now we understand that the predatory, there is no for journals or publisher, there is no review process in the ethical way or in the regular way. So the predatory word, who is the using this word and the history of this word? Let us go for the history of these words and discover the history of this word by go to the Jeffrey Bell. He's a librarian, he's a scientist and librarian scientist in the UK. He just studying the behavior of these kinds of journals and publishers, and just create a small list by defining some criteria and rules to classify these kinds of journals and publishers as a predatory. Means there are two things, because some journals may be either fake journals or maybe either a predatory journals, means either a blacklist journals. So the aim or the goal of his list to define the open access publishers or journal that did not perform any real peer review process. And these kinds of publishers and journals, typically after the sometimes maybe 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, or whatever the time, it will be discontinued from Scopus. As well as it has a lot of problems and issues for indexing the papers in these journals. I will give much examples about these things to be understood by all of you and all the attendants of this webinar. So at the beginning, this scientist create his own list by defining the publishers and journals that do not follow any peer review process, or maybe they are publishing in the papers in a regular way. So at the beginning, he created his own list in the free blog, which is called Weebly, and later he's created his own list in his own domain because of some stress or some pressure from the publishers or journals to that blog to be closed, to be closed by others. So here the Jeffrey Bell used two own domains. The first one is called the predatory journals, and the second one is called the Bell list. So plus the free blog in the web. So in these domains, let us go and find and discover what he's doing and why he's using these kinds of words to classify the journals under the predatory umbrella. So by going to the and visit the first domain, we will find in the button and the menus and the main menu of that domain, we will find some buttons. The first one is called Hajgit. Hajgit means the Hajgit journals or publishers. So the definition of this button, there are many journals and publishers either hacked or duplicated a website from origin publisher or journals. And recently, a lot of authors from a lot of countries published their papers, and according to the recent studies in this manner, there are more than 17,000 articles published in the Hajgit journals. Means 17,000 papers published in the fake journals and publishers, according to the some papers published in this manner. The second button, I just focus on the main important buttons that we have to take care to check it from time to time. The second button called the journals, which means the journals that classified or like categorized under the predatory. Means this predatory, I just use these words with my friends in India. When they are send me some journals to check, I tell him or tell her, this is a predatory journal. He just checked what is the meanings of a predatory, what do you mean? So I tell him that journal, it means a blacklist journal. We will see how the journal become in the blacklist also, because we are using, again, I repeated this for the third time, we are using the words of predatory to classify the journal, either the fake journal or the blacklist journal. The third one, the third important button is called publisher. That means the publisher that do not follow the peer review process properly, or that means that publisher is a fake publisher. There is no official documentation about that publisher. Let us go and see the next domain of Jeffrey Bell, which is the most important scientist in the world, because his services actually used by many countries around the world. So the second domain, I just put the screenshot in this section. Also, he used the same buttons, but in different scenario. The first one is publishers, already I explained here, and the standard journal, and some other information. So, and also he's in here, he's listed the fake or Hajgit journals or publishers in this panel. So let us go and study how the journal become either a blacklist or either a fake journal. There are 4 situations to classify the journal either fake or black. The first one is related to the Jeffrey Bell and his team, because that scientist, he's doing his procedure and his own test along with his own team from like scholars around the world and checking every journal. Maybe they are checking some journals around the world, and from time to time they are updated the list of their domains. And the second, by the academic and the research center, because some academic and research center like universities, institutes, also they are monitor their scholars and postgraduate students when they are published, when and where they are published their papers and research work. And actually, there are many organizations around the world now. They are, suppose, let us suppose that there is one college is called maybe a college, and in that college there are maybe 100 100 students. They are doing their postgraduate studies. If that college monitor that 100 papers, or sorry, 50 papers, at least for 50% of their students' papers published in certain journal or publisher, that means that journal or publisher, it is not a reliable or not like ethical publisher or journal. Why? Because all of you, they know that if the journal publishes certain number of papers from single country and from single institute, it will be discontinued from Scopus by any time. So we have to estimation here. Either the journal or publisher fake, or either the journal or publisher under the discontinue from Scopus. And at that time, they are published any number of papers before the journal or publisher, at least 3 months before they discontinue them from the Scopus coverage. And the third situation is depends on the individual user, because some scientists around the world also monitor some journals and publisher when and where and they are published. Because suppose if you are looking to certain journal and you find that journal publish a certain number of papers from different from certain country or from certain institute, you also may be compliant or send that information to Jeffrey to list that journal there. And the fourth situation it depends on the government. You, all of you, they know the government also monitor where the money going on. And many countries now, they do not allow to their students or their scholars to send some amounts to certain country. Why? Because if they find that country receive a lot of amount from that country, they will check why the students send much amount to that country, and they are studying the behavior of that transaction, and maybe they will find there is a lot of fake publishers and journals there, and they will block that transactions. So in general, there are 4 situations and scenarios to classify the journals either in publisher, either in a predatory or fake. So how like the individual user or institute contact the Jeffrey Bill to list some journals? They simply go to the contact information. I can and that at that time they can message to them either to email and through contact form. And the Jeffrey team they will check the application and they will test if the journal or publisher may be fake or not, and they will update their list if they found that journal or publisher it's a fake or a predatory. So now all of you, they understand how the blacklist journals or fake journals comes under the words of a predatory will updated. And the Jeffrey Bell list becomes a most important source to search about the reputed journals. Because so many scholars around the world, they want to know which one is reputed one and which one is like a fake one. Sorry. So at the 2011, the Jeffrey Bill is created his own list by listed there only 18 publishers. All of you, they know that the publisher contain a number of journals, maybe some publisher 100 plus journals, and some publisher maybe single or 2, 3, 4 journals maybe in that publisher. So in 2017, the number of publishers listed in this list, it was 1155. And now more than 3,000 publishers and journals listed in this list. Because from time to time, the list of Jeffreyville, it was updated and listed the journal and publisher after checking the criteria of that publisher and journal. So we'll go to the next slide. According to a lot of pressures that comes from the wars and the other organization to remove the names of some journals and publisher from the Jeffreyville list, and a lot of attacks that happened to that list, the Jeffreyville decided to move his own list from free domains to own domain, which I am listed in the previous slides. This is the reason, and there is some comments regarding to that. So let us go and take some examples to identify fake journals and publishers to be understand well how the journals become predatory. So now we are agree that we are using the predatory words to define the journal in the fake scenario or in the blacklist scenario. By going to this example and looking to the both journals here, we are find that both journals having the same name, the same information, the same editorial board, and both journals they are announced, we are indexing in Scopus and so on. But the both journal having different URL. Here is certain URL is different from this URL. But if you are checking the both websites of these journals, you will find some papers, maybe 100 plus papers published from Indian peoples and from Iraqi peoples also. This is the useful of intermediary agents who are promote this journal and everywhere, and they got a lot of papers submitted to them. Let us go and find now. Brother SHIVAKUMAR, can you tell me which one is origin and which one is fake? Can you please let me know? Just for example. Can you hear me?
One is the e-journal, another one is the confirmed journal.
Both journals are the same. Both journal having the same information. But just for example, can you tell me which one is origin and which one is fake?
ISSN.
No, just for a case study. I'm not asked you to check because of that.
Difficult.
Okay, now let us go for, I think all of you, if they want to check the journal, if it is fake or not, they simply go to the SIMAGO and the Scopus of review and type there the ISSN of the journal. And if they find that journal there, they will be sure the journal, it has Scopus index. And if they are pressed on the journal button in the SIMAGO or Scopus, and if they are visit the website of the journal, so they will be sure that journal, it is ethical journal or official journal. I am right?
Yes, sir.
So now let us go and check the SIMAGO and Scopus to know which one of them it is official and ethical one. So now we are go to the SIMAGO and the Scopus. I think all of you, if you want to check the journal like URL, if it is official, you have to press here in the journal homepage, and in the SIMAGO, if you are visit the journal homepage, and if these links For example, if show you this one or this one, so you will consider this one or this one, whatever the links there, you will consider it as official journal and the Scopus journal. I am right, Professor Shiva, Professor Kumar?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let us go and check the links here. So if you are pressed on the home page of the Scopus preview, you will visit this one. Okay, now let us go and consider this one as an ethical one. So if you are message to them and ask them, you please tell me which one is official about of this one, sorry, out of these two journals, which one is official and which one it was indexed in Scopus. I am totally confused. So after you are called them, they will send you this one, the other journal, they will answer you about this one is official. But if you are pressed on the homepage link in their database, you will visit this one. So now the confusion also occur on the Scopus customer care also, because they are indexing this one in their database, the first one, but they are answer you about this one. So that means that they are confused about the original journal of the original website of the journal. So let us go and check the Scopus, the SIMAGO, the other repository that classifying the Scopus journal. When you are pressed on the SIMAGO, you are visit this one, this journal. When you are messaged to them, I have seen some journals also has the same name and information. They will inform you, they will disable the comments here. So now you are in totally confusion. Why? Because there is no certain answer. Why? Because the Scopus tell you this is the official, but they are indexing in there in the homepage link or button another one. So let us go back to them and message to them, I am finding two journals and having the same information. I would like to be sure why you are indexing another website and why you are inform me about another journal, which one it will index it, the papers in your databases. Actually, here we are sending both information to them, and they are answer us the second one, this one, sorry, it was official one and reputed one. But after 6 to 8 months, the Scopus and the SIMAGO removed this one, and they said we are sorry because we are finding that this website is origin one. So how about the papers that publish here? Because so many authors publish their papers in the fake journal, this one, and also that papers indexed in the Scopus, and later all these papers removed from databases, from the Scopus database. How about the lot of money transactions sent to the fake agents or fake or the hackers, because they are collecting a lot of money from authors to publish their papers in this website. But after 6 to 8 months, the Scopus database updated their database according to this one and removed many papers that published when the fake journal or when the fake website created. Suppose if this fake website created in 2019 and this one maybe from 2015, they remove some papers from the time that journal was published, the papers. Now, let us go for another example and check the journal in the favorable list, if it is found or not. Here, if they found, if you are search about the fake journals and publishers, and you choose the journal button and search about the advanced what is the name of that one? Okay, Advanced Journal of International Journal of Advanced something. If you search here in the predatory journal, you will not find anything related to that one, because the updating of favorable list, it takes sometimes, and also maybe a lot of time. So let us go for the publisher name of that journal. Here you just focus on this word, Science and Engineering Research Support Society. You just keep these words in your mind, and let's go to the publisher and check there. You will find the publisher name here, Science and Engineering Research Support Society. You have to focus well. Why? Because the "and" it was written something, and the society it was written in different manner. You have to check the total words and focus on the words. So now, if you are find the publisher name listed in the predatory publisher, you have to take care about that journal or about that publisher, because of these kinds of situation. Now let us go and check the other domain of the Jeffrey. Now, also you have to search about the journal. You will not find the journal name listed in the predatory list of the second domain. So let us go and check about the publisher. You will find the information about that publisher, and they are listed the second publisher, second fake publisher, and they are linked it to the first publisher. So these kinds of information, it will be useful to you to know which one is official and which one is fake, and both, even you are find that one, this one, it is official, but that updated, it was changed in the end of 2019. Before this time, a lot of papers published in fake websites, and also even that papers published in the official journal, but it was the Scopus removed the papers from their databases. And a lot of users, maybe scholars, they ask themselves why the Scopus database removed some papers from previous issues. So you have to think about this scenario, and maybe they will find that some like a predatory scenario happened in that journal, and according to that, the Scopus database, severe maybe organization, they remove the previous indexed papers. Now let us go on browsing some other information, because I have listed in the previous slide and inform all of you that the Jeffrey bill also contains some other sources and some other information related to the fake journals that indexed maybe in other indices, maybe in GOIJ, maybe GOI. Also, you will find a lot of useful information in this website. Also, there are many fake conferences. Maybe you will find a lot of information in this menu, and I cannot go for that because of the time limit. Now, why the bill list become main source for many countries? Many countries and universities, educations, and whatever, they have recently, they are believe about bill list. Why? Because in that list become a main source, because there is no other list, maybe list intimate some information about the blacklist or predatory list. So because of that things, many countries around the world, many organizations around the world consider that list at least for the current or temporary repository to check the journals and publishers. And also many researchers around the world becomes and also started to trust the bill list because of the lot and poor information and the poor accurate information of the SIMAGO and the Scopus. Now let us go and list another examples by taking into consideration this journal. This journal, it was indexed also in the Scopus and SIMAGO. When you are search about this journal, in 2018, 2019, in the SIMAGO and in Scopus, and to praise the journal homepage, you will visit this website. If you are browsing this website, you will find more than 30 issues published in this journal. More than 400 articles published from India and Iraq. And the minimum article processing charges of this journal, it was 10,000 rupees for Indian peoples and $500 of Iraqi peoples. Now, with humble calculation, 400 by $500, I think you will reach to the $2 million. And let us check and go. Why this journal indexed in Scopus and SIMAGO, and why later the journal it was removed from their databases? So, at the beginning, let us check this journal name in the bill list. You will not find any information about this journal in the bill list, either the publisher or the journal. So if you are check the web page, the homepage link in SIMAGO and the Scopus, you will visit this website and this journal. But later, this journal, it was discovered as a hacked journal. Hacked journal means actually the hackers hacked every information about the original journal, which belongs to another website and another domain. And they are publish a lot of papers here, and later they are the Scopus and SIMAGO change the URL. But no one can answer them and can answer the authors about their losing, because more than $1 million it was lost, because simply they are published thousands articles from 2017 till 2020 in the month of December, when the link it was updated from Scopus and SIMAGO. Now let us go for another example and check this journal, which one is origin, which one is fake one. If I check the bill list, you will not find any information related to these journals. In 2020, you will not find anything related to this journal or related to the publisher of this journal. After that, you maybe would like to check the links of homepage of SIMAGO and the Scopus. When you are pressed on the same link of SIMAGO and the Scopus, you will visit this journal. This journal, actually, when you are submit your paper, they will give you a review. They will assign you some reviewers. They will give revisions. They will do everything well for you. After you are visit the Scopus website and the SIMAGO website and the press on the homepage, you will visit the journal on the left side. How much the article processing charges? It was 300 something. But after 3 years, the Scopus and SIMAGO, they are removed this website and put this website, and they said, we are sorry. We find this journal, it was fake journal. Now, and they are now, what is the what is the solution to the peoples who are publish their papers in the fake journals? Because these papers, even indexed in Scopus, it will remove later. And this is the big issue for many scholars around the world. After they are updating this one, let us illustrate something related to the fake journals. When you would like to send any amount to these journals, they ask you to send their payments in the Bitcoin or in the Western Union. So they don't have any official payments like bank account or something. So this is the example of some fake publisher on fake journals, because this journal published more than 500 articles in the fake website. And I just give these examples because two websites having the same information, the same things, the same journal name, ISSN, editorial committee, and so on. The main advantage of a predatory list that no one can control about this list. So if you find like this example and you contact to the bill list, no one can control them to index this one or this one. You just show them whatever you are seeing, and they will list that journal after they are checked. They will list in the predatory list. So let us go for the disadvantage of the bill list. There are many disadvantages in the bill list. The first one is there is no full documentation about all the journals and publishers around the world. Even now at the current time, I think many journals now it was like promoted on the Facebook. But and these journals also fake journals and fake publishers. But if you search about the names of publisher and journal on the bill list, you will not find. Maybe after 1 year, maybe after sometimes they will list that journal or publisher because of they want to check, and also a lot of queries comes to them. And the updating also take a lot of time. Some names not updated properly because the hackers, very smart people, maybe if they are hacked some journal with the name of AA, and if they find that journal listed in the bill list, they will change maybe from capital to small letter, and to avoid any matching in the bill list. Also, some names not updated properly, as I show one example in the previous slide. And the weakness of indexation techniques also, if you are search about some names there, you will not find you. So you have to search in the bill list manually and check each and every word and statement after you at that website. Also, the URL not explained well, the metrics that considered by the bill list, and how they are considered that journal or publisher as a blacklist. But in this seminar, I will list some examples from Jeffrey-Bill in which I'm studying their behavior and metrics to created this seminar to be useful to all of you. And also there is a misconnection between the bill list and SIMAGO and Scopus because of the bill list. It is not official or government list. It was own created list. And maybe if the SIMAGO team or Scopus team, if they check at least the bill list content, maybe they got some information about fake publishers and journal, because journals may be still indexed in Scopus, but it's considered as epic. Now let us go for another example, and after check the both sources of SIMAGO and the Scopus, you will find this journal. This is Chinese journal, and the name of this journal is Journal of Xi'an University of Architecture and Technology. But after 2 years, the Scopus and the SIMAGO updating their links of the journal homepage from the left side to the right side. And a lot of papers published here. I'm talking about thousands plus papers published in the fake websites. With minimum article processing charges, it was 10,000 rupees for India. I think it's equal to $200. And for other foreigners, maybe the cost it will be much. So if you are check and counting the number of papers that publish in the fake journal, you will reach to the millions of dollars comes and go to the hackers around the world, because there are many hackers just focus on how to create a fake journals and publisher to get very easy money from scholars around the world. And now let us check and go for the number of metrics. Now I will tell you how the Jeffrey will check the journals and publisher, and how the journal and publisher listed in the predatory. The first thing, you have to check the editorial board information. It is okay or not, if their names is known to all of you or not. Check the previous published paper. that paper published within the scope or not. Select any random number of papers. Let us suppose there is 5 papers, maybe from previous volumes or issues, and maybe for the last 3, 4, 5 years, you have to go for like a far limit. Why? Because I will tell you one thing. Even the journal become like Hajgit or fake or whatever the name of that journal, the hacking or the fake things cannot continue more than 4 years. Cannot continue more than 4 years. Even now or after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, it will be known as a fake or Hajgit. So if you are check the previous published paper, and you will find, for example, 5 years ago or 6 years ago, and you find that papers indexed in Scopus, this is so you can just stop and check other metrics to classify if that journal it was reputed or not. You have to go for many metrics to check that journal. Also check the payment method, the contact information, and also read the comments of SIMAGO, because so many users around the world, maybe they are comment about this journal in the comment box of SIMAGO. Check the payments of that journal. If it is Bitcoin, MoneyGrams, or Western, you have to be aware about that journal. If the journal do not indexing the papers from the previous published paper, but now I will tell you another story. The hackers become more smart because they are picking the papers that publish in the origin journals and putting that papers in the fake website of this journal. But also we have another smart metric to know if that journal it was fake or not. I will go for a lot of metrics to classify that journal if it is fake or not. Also navigate about the papers that publish, because the reputed journal that having some reputed information related to editorial board, receiving of that paper, the scope of that paper, and many things. So let us go for these metrics and check. By go to the 2 fake journals here, Chinese journals and 1 Europe journal. If you search about the editorial board information in the Google, you will not find information about these names listed here. So you have to take care to search maybe about the names that listed in the editorial board section. So by go to the Google, you will not find the name of Philip something in the Canada, but other people's, if they find this information, they will dancing because they think this journal, it was Europe journal, and they can publish their papers and got indexation, because both journals, it was indexed in Scopus and SIMAGO for 2 or 3 years. If you are pressing on the link, you will visit this journal, both journals, you will visit them. And a lot of agents post a lot of posts in the Facebook. We can publish your paper in this journal with 10,000, 15, 20, 30, whatever the amount of the publication there. But after 2 years, with more than 500 or 1,000 articles published in both fake journals, the Scopus and SIMAGO updated their database and removed the link of these journals. So let us go for another option. If you search about this journal also, and 3 years ago, you will find this website and a lot of papers published, because they are picking all the information of the origin web journal. And later the journal discovered that, and they said in the origin website, we have seen that some journal hacked our information and indexed their links in Scopus and SIMAGO, and we are sleeping. Because Scopus also monitor the editorial board situation and the associated editors. Because some journal, the editorial board and the associated editors, also, they don't check the information of their journals in Scopus and SIMAGO, and they don't follow any kinds of update. And the hackers, they can't do anything to indexing their hacked journal in the Scopus. But these things actually due to poor performance of the editorial board committee. So Let us go for and take another journal who published the previous. You will find here more than they are published 12 issue per year, and from 2000, because they are indexing some papers from previous years also, because also I tell you the hackers are very smart peoples, because they can if you check and you if you find any journal that do not index in the previous published papers, suppose if you check this journal in the Scopus or Simago, you will find the coverage of the Scopus coverage of the journal from, for example, from 2012. So you are expected to find some papers from 2012. So the hackers doing that for you. They indexing some papers from 2012 to like to keep you are safe this journal, and you think that journal is in Scopus journal, because they are very smart people. Now let us go for another metric to discover how that journal it was fake. By pricing on each paper. Okay, now we are agree. If you are example, for example, if you are just let me go back. Okay, if you are price on this volume or issue, and you the papers listed there, if you are priced on each one, you cannot access to the full PDF. Even you will see here, if you are pressed on this PDF to download the full paper of this author, you will find there is login information. This is open access. Why they are doing login? It should be free access to them. I will tell you why. Because this journal, if it indexed the full paper, the authors who publish this paper in origin journal, they can know that. And also it is easy to find in the search engine. So they will maybe, and the second reason is due the time limit. They cannot download 1,000 papers, but it is easy to capture abstract and title and the author information and listed this information in the journal. Now let us go for another things and find this list who sent by Europe agent from Canada, because also he posts this list in the Facebook. I have seen that in this list, the first 5 journal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In this 5 journal, there is the fees of publication. It was in pounds. And if you search about this journal in the Scopus and Simago, you will find that journal indexed in the Scopus and Simago. Now I give you 5 examples. Before I give you 4 examples, the total 9 examples. But after 2 years, because he lists that maybe I think in 2019 or 20, after at least 1 year, all these journals are fake journals. All these journals are fake journals, even indexed in the links in the Scopus and Simago. Why? Because the Simago and the Scopus team changed the URL of the fake journal to the origin after discover that. But no one can tell us what is the situation of the published paper in these journals. Now, let us go for this journal of one Chinese journal and check the previous published paper. You will find, okay, now let us go for this, the Journal of Xi'an University of Architecture and Technology. So we expect find here something related to civil engineering and architecture and technology maybe. But if you are browsing the paper, you will find the medicine, agriculture, fine arts, religion, pure science, engineering, and maybe some papers. Even there is some songs also written and published. I have seen that some papers is not a paper. There is some song name and the words of that song also published in this journal. So how is it possible? You have to check the previous published paper, because, okay, now suppose if you are, for example, economic background or maybe business background, if you are visiting any certain journal, you expect you will find some business papers published in that journal, but you will not find any religion, fine arts, or some other papers published in that journal. So if you find that, you just classify this journal as a predatory or fake journal. Now let us go for the contact information of the fake journals or predatory journals. You will not find any full contact information. Also, you'll find general email, and if you search about these names, you will not find it. Also, there is some other journals and publishers also do not fill the list of the editorial team information in their journals or publishers. Also, this is one metric to find if that journal or publisher, it was a reputed one or fake one. And also, you will find the source of fake, maybe some other indices. Maybe we can you can check the bill list to find much information about these things. Now let us go for another things and how the journal become predatory. Even the journal, it's reviewed and indexed the papers and the scopus and everything fine in that journal, but the journal listed in the blacklist and also discontinued from scopus. Now, if you want to know if certain journal it will discontinue from scopus or not after some time, because you expect that the journal after discontinue, so many journals, the indexed papers also removed from scopus database. So the first things, if you find some post in the Facebook by some agents post about some journals, you will expect that journal either because I would like to clarify this point, because some agents, if you are visit them, they don't have a known affiliation. They don't have, suppose I am conference, for example, editor. If I want to promote my conference, okay, I have the full privilege to include any journal that cover my conference or cover my special issues. I'm just talking about unknown peoples who post on the Facebook, because some peoples also post their special issues, special session, or special plan, so many things. But if you are browsing their information, you will find them. They are known. They have Google Scholar, they have Scopus profile, they have everything. So those kinds of people, they are, for example, honest peoples or official peoples. I'm just talking about another kinds of peoples, because another kinds of peoples, maybe they don't have known name. They post, we can publish things if you want to inbox me. They don't push a lot of information. So by go to the next two journals here, they are pushing information of both journals in the Facebook. But unfortunately, after some time, the Scopus discontinue both journals from Scopus, and also both journals listed in the fake or in the predatory. Why? Because the agents, they can destroy everything. So many associated editors or editor-in-chief believe of some persons, and they are broken their names because of the agent's behavior. So this is one reason. Also, let us go and check this journal. Why this journal classified as a predatory? It is very reputed journal, USA publisher, and very, very reputed publisher and journal, very, very reputed. The bill list classify this journal because they find that editorial board send a lot of review information invitation to unknown reviewers. Suppose if I am an associated editor in some Scopus and Web of Science journal. If I want to send a review invitation to someone, I have to know, I have to check the Google Scholar of that one, or I have to send the invitation to official email. I have to send, for example, I have to send the invitation to SHIVAKUMAR, for example, professor. But maybe I don't know someone. Maybe I sent the invitation to him, to that one, through Yahoo email, through some other email, and that person, maybe he's a fake person. So, and maybe he's not also a scholar. So because of this scenario, the pen list lists that journal and the blacklist on or hereditary, and also the journal discontinue. And also let us go for another thing is the most of the fake journals use the PKB system, the open journal submission system. And these kinds of system allow you to submit your papers in the through the submission system. By take the example about the journal of South Chiating University. Actually, this journal, it was indexing in Scopus and Simogo for 3 years. For 3 years. 3 years, this journal published 400 articles from my country with article processing charges $350. This journal, if you check the Simago page, you will find that the editorial board of this journal even answered the comments there. They are doing everything well. They are doing every information in ethical and official way. But unfortunately, after 3 years, the Scopus and Simago removed this one and fixed this one, because this one is fake and this one is official one. 3 years, the Simago and the Scopus indexing this website and indexing this journal. If you search about them in the Scopus, you will find, and Simago, you will find the comments of editorial board also. You will find the comments of the editorial board. They give you revisions. They give you everything. They give you in your paper. When you submit your paper, they will not publish it within 1 month or 3 months to publish your paper. They give you double blind review comments. They give you revisions. They give you, but they are fake. How to know about them? This journal discovered as and known as a fake because they are received the payments in Western Union and Bitcoin payments. So because of this reason, someone messaged to the Scopus and they have seen and checked the documentation of this. After 3 years, they find that journal is fake one and they are removed from Scopus and remove all the indexation of 2020 and 2021. And according to that, a lot of scientific organization faces the same scenario and list the most reputed publishers. Suppose if you want to publish your paper in the Springer, or maybe, hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible.
Someone, no, someone talking. Okay.
Let's continue.
So, okay, most scientific organizations around the world, they are meet together and they are announce one reputed list about the big publisher that cannot be hacked. Why? Because the hackers, they can hack a simple design journal, a simple publisher, but they cannot hack it Springer, or they cannot hack it Willy or IEEE or IOB or IIB or Springer Nature, or many publishers who design their websites in official way, because they can hack it the journal that have a poor design in their original website. And most hacked journal or hereditary journal comes from West countries, ASEAN West countries, maybe China, Japan, and that country also, maybe Philippines and some other countries. So because if you find that journal website, simple design, no editorial board information, poor contact information, unknown names in the editorial board section, and payments in Western or Bitcoin, published paper out of scope, promoted by agents. So I listed many information, maybe I'm not remember it here, but you will check that. Do not believe Scopus and Simago information, because even you are find that journal, you have to keep in your mind the journal and check the journal also in list. I forget this point. Maybe they are indexed fake journal or predatory or blacklist. Now let us go for even the journal still indexed in Scopus. I'm just talking about Bentham publisher. It's very good publisher. And also, what is the name of that publisher? I'm just one publisher. I forget the name of that one. Okay, but it is listed as a blacklist. Why? Because of situation or behavior of editorial board that publisher listed in the blacklist. Because now at the current time, many countries and many organizations do not publish the papers and reputed papers and do not cite the papers that publish in fake or blacklist journal. I think maybe if you go to the previous published paper, suppose now I am published, for example, in 2015 or 19 or 17, I am published my paper in certain journal. Let us call that journal A journal. And that journal, it was in Scopus and everything well. And that journal also do not duplicate it or hack it by someone. But because of the behavior of the editorial board committee or editor-in-chief, that journal listed in the blacklist. This is not your mistake. You cannot do anything about that. But I think you have to change your mind to publish your paper in reputed journal, because you don't. This is not your mistake. If the editorial board after some time they doing very bad behavior or they are doing some business with some other agents. So I think this list, it will be very useful to all of you. And thank you for listening. I'm sorry to take that much of time to share maybe this presentation, because I think I am with you in more than 1 hour. I'm sorry for delay. I hope it will be useful to all of you, and thank you again for listening.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir explained very clearly how the journals becomes in predatory and how to identify the fake journals. Thank you so much, sir. However, the time is limited. I'm sure that this will go a long way in understanding the topic regard to identify the journal.
I would like to note you this presentation is take from my time 3 months, because you cannot discover the journal and you cannot discover or now in that journal is fake or not. You have to study the behavior of that journal, then you are decided that journal is fake one. For 3 or 4 months, I am just listed and counted the information about these kinds of journal, and many also many journals I have seen in Facebook and somewhere. I know that journal is fake, but I cannot list it because of the time and also a lot of issues. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Next, Sri W.D. Ashok, sir, Honorary Trustee, Sheshadripuram Education Trust. Sir holds a master degree in pharmacy specialized in the field of total parental nutrition. He served at the famous Alauddin Hospital COVID over 13 years. He is also a trustee of Sheshadripuram Education Trust. Sir is the backbone for all the events conducted in our college. Sir supports us all the kinds of programs which enhance the knowledge of teaching fraternity and various topics. Without the support of our sir, Sheshadripuram Education. Thank you very much, sir, for your support, sir. Thank you, sir. Now I request Sri W.D. Ashok, sir, Honorary Trustee, Sheshadripuram Education Trust, to address the gathering, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. A very good evening to everyone. This international level webinar, which has been conducted from the Sheshadripuram Academy of Business Studies, giving a platform for international scope and bringing Dr. Ahmad Obaid, the department from computer science from Iraq, who has given a thorough briefing for this item or the subject matter which was discussed today, that is fake journals and publishers identification, how it has to be done, what are the steps that has to be taken, and where exactly you have to coordinate and see that where actual you can just come up with the identification of fake or it is not fake, how it has to be done. Yes, wonderfully given with examples and actual screenshots of the many of the things where he has come about. And he has also said that how difficult it is to make out from the original to the fake, and how they are hijacking the things from actual ones, and how they are building up a fake journals, and how it has to be established and how you want to counter it at the same time. He has given so many numerous examples in his presentation, a very nice one. Actually, this all comes about in the research paper publications, and people who are thinking of their PhD programs and those who are going for conferences where they want to bring up their papers, they have to be very careful with this type of things where they want to put their presentation in the journals, because most of the time any institute wants their papers to be published and everybody wants it to be in a good journal. So basically, Dr. Ahmad was telling about fake or original. So it is basically, he was also telling, go to the websites, check for the websites. Basically, we always think, for example, if we want to see any information, we basically go to the institutes or anything, we just immediately go to the website. So we can just find out whether these journals are having a website. We immediately comes to the mind of the common people. But there also they are, as Ahmad was telling, that hijackers are very good people with much more intelligent than the common people. They are going to twist you in such a way that it is very, very difficult. For example, I just want to refer it. For example, if one institution is there or one journal publication is there, they build two websites with the same name. So you think that one may be false, one may be true, but both are false actually. So in such a way, they are going to see that you will be hijacked to their strings. Even for example, if you think that, okay, this journal is having only website, this may be true. There also it is not possible to identify whether that website is true or not. So it becomes very difficult. And so it is just like what in our perspective, as Ahmad put it, it is blacklisted companies. Like he brought our name, what we actually used it instead of hijacking or predatory journals. He said that blacklisted ones. To say that predatory is something very much like blacklisted companies in normal terms of talk, he has brought it to make it very simple to our understanding. So at the same time, it was very nice that the truth about the original journal does not have, it doesn't happen from the website also. So it is basically, you have to understand the basic ISS number and of the journal, whether it is in the print form or it is in the online form. You will have to just see the actual presentation in the original journals. That is ISSN number, international standard serial numbers, which has to be given for a particular journal, will be given. And also it will be stated whether it is a journal comprising of print material or it is an online publication. Some journal publications will give both the things. It can give you the print journals, means it will be printed and brought about in the book form. At the same time, they have the PDF forms or any other publications in the online platform also. Not all journal publications will have both the things. They will have to get the permissions. So even there, you can just find out whether what is actually correct, what is not actually true. So the understanding of ISSN number will be very much useful during the fake counters, which you will be coming up. If the ISS is in the print only, then the journal does not have the online publication. Obviously, then there is no need for a website at the same time. Many of the illustrations Dr. Ahmad has given how to find out whether it is fake. Even if you find out a genuine website for a print only journal, you will find only the table of contents in the website sometimes. We cannot find the complete papers in the PDF format even then. We cannot find how it has been printed. As Dr. Ahmad was telling, if you go through the links, you will not find at all. Only the link will be mentioned, but you cannot find actually where that presentation was given many a times. So you have to verify the particular journal in the Scopus. So it becomes very necessary to see that you come back to the same standard original Scopus or Web of Science. There is the other one, Web of Science, which has been indexed or not, you will have to find it out. If it is the Scopus or Web of Science indexed, verify the website trustworthiness from the Scopus, it will be very much necessary. Dr. Ahmad also said that check the archive papers of the journal. They must contain all old and current issue papers. That is, for example, if they are saying that this is a real journal, for example, it has been started in 2000 or earlier, all those 2000, 2001, 2002, all publications should be there. Not that immediately if the journal is there, not started just last year, it doesn't happen like that. The earlier journals, whatever it has been given, those publications also must be shown in that journal websites also. At the same time, it becomes very necessary for you to ask old papers. And if you just come about the names and the password, as Ahmad was telling, they don't ask usually the password or your IS names or anything like that to enter the publications. So even when you see that, for example, in our institute, for example, there is a thing that is who are the representation, contact us page will be there. So when you go to the contact home page, then you can just find out what actually you are meaning. So similarly, a publication also gives contact us page and operating email ID, usual website name, and email address, which will be mostly very useful, because usually, for example, Sheshadripuram Institute means even the email address or the address of the website will be in the same format. That is, whether it is in the short form, SHS or whatever, SHPUC, like that, it will be correlated. You will not give it in the Yahoo Mail or Gmail address to contact. So this will be very useful, and you can just find it out in similar manner. Website creation data also will be very useful. When this data was created and when continuously the formatted versions were happening. So just to brief up the main things what Dr. Ahmad has said, that is predatory publications is called write-only publications or deceptive publications. That is predatory, that is hijacked ones. It is an exploitative and publication model that involves where it charges fees of very high amount. No checking of articles will be there, and quality of the articles will not be maintained in such journals. Legitimacy or no editorial board will be there, and there will be no publishing services afterwards. Once it has been taken up, they will not give you any continuity. No citations over the period of time will be there. No authors are there to continue your services once it has been picked up. So all these predatory factors Dr. Ahmad has said. So you will have to consider all these aspects once you say that this is being there, this is false. So you will have to just come back to the Scopus or the web link where it is, you can just confirm it once again. So the thing is, one thing is predatory, Dr. Ahmad said, where it is being hijacked. There is one more thing which is happening. It is called cloned or pseudo journals. That is, they are just copying the things. That is counterfeit, like mirror images. They bring about the mirror images of the same with the name, as Dr. Ahmad said. It will be similar name, address will be same, ISS number will be same, and logo also they will try to copy the same as the original journal. But where again you can find out it is from the websites and the actual address, web address or the email ID, there you can find out whether it is original journals or fake journals. So these predatory journals, cloned pseudo journals, you will have to be very careful. And at the same time, as Dr. Ahmad has said, Scopus or Web of Science, you can confirm most of the things. Today's webinar brought about from this Sheshadripuram Academy of Business Studies, giving an representation for research works to happen, and people using the platform think that it was much more beneficial from Dr. Ahmad's presentation. Thanks for the opportunity given, and all for the cooperations of the coordinators, SHIVAKUMAR, and others, IQSC platform, those who have coordinated with him, and also our principal Jairam sir, who has brought about this wonderful platform. I thank one and all. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable views and valuable suggestion with us, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Now, it is an if you have any doubts, only 2 questions is allowed to you participants. If you have any doubts, please raise your hand. Participants, if you have any question, please raise your hand. Participants, any doubt or any question? Please raise your hand.
Sir, someone by name Vinita has raised the hand.
Vinita, please ask your question. Vinita? Vinita?
Can they unmute?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Is already unmuted. Vinita? Participants, if you have any question, please raise your hand.
Sir, can they unmute themselves?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Allow participant to unmute themselves. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Let's we move on to next. There is no any question, ma'am. Yes, sir. Prakash, sir, please, if you have any
Yes,
question.
Yes, sir. Very
Yes,
good
sir.
evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Please.
It's a very wonderful session by Ahmed, sir. Sir, a small and maybe it is a silly question. Just I just want to know whether is there any particular website to check whether it is a predicated journal or whether it's a true journal. Anything like that. Maybe like how we are checking the plagiarism like that. Is there any particular website that is this is true or not to check?
Okay, thank you for your question. Actually, if you want to check the journal, you have to go for several steps. The first one, you have to check the bill list if that journal listed under the hereditary along with the publisher or not. Then you check the Scopus and Simago and read all the comments of the peoples that commented on the Simago homepage to the journal homepage. I mean. Third, you have to check the content, all the contents, editorial board contact, money, and the process of that journal, previous published paper, the access of that papers, and all these things we have. Because even you are passing all these things, but you will find one dot about that journal because, you will find that journal may be fake journal. Because even that journal indexed in the Simago or Scopus, that doesn't mean that the journal is the reputed one. You have to check and use your own metrics to classify the journal is good or not. So I think the predatory website will give you very good information about. Then I think my recommendation to it's go for the reputed publisher like Springer, IEEE, IOB, AIB, IEEE, Willy. I think those kinds of publisher very reputed and their journal cannot be captured. I will show you one example if I have 30 seconds. Just let me, okay, I think this one. Okay, this one. So if you check this one, as I am editor here, okay, so you know that when you want to submit, there is a submission system, and this also, this website cannot be hacked by the hackers. I think you know that one, the Scientific Net publisher. No one can hack it, these kinds of publisher. Also, here, for example, EAI, because these well-known publishers and journals, typically the journal or maybe the hacked contents go to the simple design journals. You have to take care also about that, because if you find the journal with poor design or maybe simple information, there you can classify the journal as a fake, predatory, or hacked. I just remember the Hindawi publisher also listed in the bill list. Why? And also considered as a blacklist in many countries because of the situation of some editorial board in that publisher, because maybe they are accepting papers without official peer review process, as I mentioned in the first 5 slides.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Vanita? Vanita, if you have a question? Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your valuable information to our participants. It's already late. How
My pleasure.
the main object? Okay, sir. The objectives of this webinar is our researchers, our scholars, our professors, students to identify the fake journals and all the techniques to identify the same. Thank you very much, sir. You have explained very clearly. Now, last but not least, it's time to conclude the program. Now I invite Deepa, yes, BCom student of Sheshadripuram Academy of Business Studies, to render vote of thanks. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody present here. I am Deepa of final year BCom SABS. It's my privilege to propose vote of thanks to all the dignitaries present here. I would like to thank resource person Dr. Ahmed J. Obeid, Professor, Department of Computer Science, University of Kufa, Iraq, for sharing his info about how fake journals and publishers can be identified and what are their criteria. We thank you from the bottom of our heart, sir. Thank you so much. I also thank W.D. Ashok, Honorary Trustee, Sheshadripuram Educational Trust, for presiding the session. Thank you, sir. I thank Professor Jairama, sir, Principal of SABS, for always supporting to conduct various activities like this. Thank you so much, sir. I extend my thanks to Dr. Manjula V, IQAC Coordinator, and I also thank SHIVAKUMAR CS, as Research Cell Coordinator, for conducting this activity. And I also thank Reshma B, ma'am, HOD of Department of Computer Science. Thank you, ma'am. I also extend my thanks to all the teaching and non-teaching staff and the students of SABS for being a part of this program and making it a grand success. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Ahmed, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ahmed, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Ashok,
Ma
sir.
salama.
Masalama, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Participants, feedback link will send in WhatsApp group. Kindly please submit the feedback form. The feedback link will post within 20 minutes. Okay, please wait. Definitely, I will post the feedback link in the WhatsApp group within 20 minutes. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.